Question number 1 asks, why have you chosen to be a teacher, or perhaps why has it chosen you? In which ways might you understand that teaching as a calling? I feel as though I want to live a purposeful life where the power lies directly in my hands to make a difference in someone else's life. Being a teacher, you hold the power to directly impact someone's life in a positive way. I believe that also being able to impact a young person's life is extremely important because they have their whole life ahead of them to make a difference in the world. Teachers have the ability to shape future generation. We can change the way the world thinks, feels, and acts. We can open the eyes of the youth and lead them into a direction of success. In my eyes, being a teacher is like being a superhero. Not only can we pave a successful path for the youth, but we are also able to provide stability to those who don't have a stable home life. We are able to provide advice to those who might not have an adult around to give them advice. We also provide a home. School can be their home for those who do not have one. Every day will be different and is different, and I feel as though teaching is my calling to help others who need it. I want to make a difference in this world, and by teaching, I feel like I can. I want to be able to inspire conversations, help others learn to think for themselves, and help students develop confidence in themselves that can last a full lifetime. Not only am I helping the community that we are constantly shaping and creating, but I'm also constantly learning. Every year is different, and every year I will meet somebody new. These new people I meet have a different home life, a diverse culture, a different way of speaking, acting, and reacting. As a teacher, I'm also able to learn something new every year from my students as well. My students can be my teacher. Especially teaching kindergarten, I am constantly reminding myself of the innocent perspective of life. Last but not least, I might be the only person in this child's life that they can trust. I might be their saving grace. The second part of question 1 asks, to what extent might you see teaching as a part of your journey and experiencing connection, community, and wholeness? I see teaching as a big part of my journey and experiencing connection, community, and wholeness because I am constantly with my own community of people in my own classroom. We have a whole year together to learn about each other and grow into a better person and student than when we all walked into that classroom together. Every year I will be meeting more people that will add to my community and authenticity in my life. So number 2 asks, resiliency may be described as our attempt to deal with the lack of connection, community, and wholeness. Can you recall a time in your own educational experience which required you to demonstrate resiliency? How did you manage to remain resilient? So I feel as though being resilient is also being able to grow and move forward with the idea in your minds that we all make mistakes, and if we choose to accept those mistakes, then we can learn from our mistakes and improve ourselves the next time. In teaching, I have learned that not every lesson plan that we find on Pinterest or a teacher pay teacher will work, and every classroom management strategy that someone gives to you will work. A way I've expressed being resilient is by trying a plethora of different classroom management strategies with one of my students until I finally found something that worked with her. My student gave me a run for my money and definitely tested my patience every single day. I thought after 2 months of trying, I would never get through to her. She screamed every day while I was talking and giving a lesson, ran around my classroom with no care in the world, ripped down papers, bothered my students, and seemed to never listen to anything that I had said to her. There were lunch breaks where I would just break down and feel like a failure, but no matter what, I had not given up on her, and I had not shown her that I had given up on her. I cared about her future and my class's future as well. I gave her my patience, and I was willing to work with her. When she was frustrated, I would let her cope with her emotions. Every day I sat and talked to her. I gave her positive reinforcement with absolutely everything. After about 5 months into the year, she trusted me and listened to me without hesitation. We have some of our days now, but it is absolutely nothing compared to the beginning of the year. Now she comes in the classroom with a big smile and gives me a huge hug. She uses her manners, please and thank you. If she's starting to act up, all I have to do is look at her and she stops. She has become actually one of my favorite students now, and she seems to impress me with her grace and love for her peers every single day. With that being said, I stayed resilient by not giving up and accepting the fact that not everything I do will work out perfectly. I tried and tried as much as I could, and I knew that there would be a path to success around the corner for her. I believed in my student and my passion for her and others. I believed in my student and my passion for her and the others shined through. Number 3 asks, what might be some ways you anticipate having to exercise resiliency as a teacher? What will you do to help yourself thrive in the role of a teacher rather than merely survive? How would your faith intersect your role as a teacher? So going back to what I said, I feel as though in the teacher world, we will express resiliency by never giving up on our students, understanding that each student is different, and it might even take an entire year to get through to a student, and that's okay. As long as we realize that as teachers, we have taught them at least one thing significant to their lives that they will remember, or we have positively impact them in one aspect of their life, then we have made a difference and done our job. Nothing will be perfect, but we must be resilient and never give up on our students. And that concludes my video.